it's me, Becca. It's my turn to show you how to do a craft, okay? Not too complicated and doesn't require too many resources, all right? So what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how to make these lovely recycled paper decorations. You can do them in whatever shapes you like. I've got quite a lot of heart ones here. Oh, let's zoom out. Look at that one, kind of folded in a way. Cool. And then, oh, this one's a nice one, chunky one. Look at that. Focus in. All right, so I'm going to show you how to make them. Ready? Okay. So all you need is some paper, some glue and some scissors, basically. Doesn't matter what kind of paper it is, as long as it's not too thick. I actually nabbed my hubby's her Bradford's catalogue, which he wasn't too best pleased with because it was actually an in-date one, but oops, never mind. But yeah, so you can kind of rip out the pages. They're quite nice because, you know, you don't get the colour on your, you know, where the colours come off, it doesn't come off on your fingers like you do with like a newspaper. You can use newspaper if you want to, as long as it's not too thick. So basically, first of all, what you need to do is cut your paper into strips. Now it doesn't matter, they don't have to be too neat, you know. These are about 6.5 centimeters wide. Like, what's that, old money, 2.5 inches roughly. Obviously, if you've got a longer A4 magazine, brilliant, but this was just an A5 one. And then there's two different methods of doing this, okay? I'm going to show you the first one, then I might have to pause it and then show you the second one. Okay, so we begin by you getting your strips of paper, and you can either cut your strips of paper with scissors, or you could use like a ruler and like a scalpel if you wanted to, or you could use a guillotine if you happen to have a fancy guillotine. Doesn't really matter. Basically, you need strips of paper. Fold it in half lengthways, open it up, and then fold it in the middle, to both sides into the middle, like that. And then it doesn't matter, look, I've got a rough edge there, it doesn't really matter too much. You're then going to fold it in again on itself. I really hope you can see that. I'll bring it up close to the camera. And then you just press down really, really hard, make sure they're nice and folded over, and then fold it in on itself. So you've kind of got all the, like, all the edges kind of folded in on themselves. Okay, so you've got a little strip like that. Now you can do loads, so you're all ready in preparation. So I've done a few. So that's the folded technique. And then I find that this is a little bit more fiddly, and I think if you had issues with your fingers, maybe you had arthritis or struggle with sensation, you might find that the folding way is quite tricky. Some people might prefer it. So you basically fold it in on itself, and then if you wanted to make a long stretch of them, you put a dab of glue. It doesn't really matter what glue it is, as long as it doesn't dry too tacky, because you don't want it to be too tacky. So I've just put a little bit of glue stick on the ends there, so it's a little bit of an overlap. And then you could make a really long strip of these, okay? And then one method is that you could get your cocktail stick and then literally start rolling the paper onto your cocktail stick, okay? It's a little bit fiddly to begin with, and again, I think if you struggled with your fingers, you might struggle to get going on this. But the idea is that you just kind of roll it up, and then once you got going, you can take the cocktail stick out, or Kebabski, or whatever you've got to hand, and then you can kind of roll it up into like a snail. Okay, so that's one method. And you keep rolling it, and obviously the longer your bit of paper is, the longer, then bigger your curl is going to be, the bigger your circle is going to be. Okay, and then what I'm going to do as I get to the end is that I'm just going to put a dab of glue on the end. Again, same glue. So if I wanted to join another piece up, I would do that now, fold it in on itself, but I don't want to, I just want a little one, so I'm just going to finish it off with the dab of glue. Okay, so that's like a simple circle. Very exciting. Now instead of like a full circle like that, you could do like a one like that. With that one, I've just done it round like a pen. So instead of doing it around the cocktail stick, I've done it around a pen, and then you end up with a almost like a bead type thing. So there's a difference of kind of circles that you can make. You can see with this one, it's come undone, but if you wanted to, you could make it like a bit more of an open kind of. You could put a dab of glue on it now and then keep it as a bit more of an open curl. That's quite nice as well. Depends what kind of decoration you want to go for. But there's 3 different ways of making simple. I wonder if I can zoom in. Probably not. Okay, so the other method is you get a kebab stick, a kebab skewer or a knitting needle, put your piece of paper at a slight angle, about 45 degrees, and then you just start rolling the paper tightly onto your knitting needle. And then as you get to the end, you just put a dab of glue in the corner, just like that. Slide it off your knitting needle, and then you've got like a paper straw there, which is quite cool. And you can just do those in front of the telly, put a tray on your lap, and I find that movement of rolling is less fiddly than the folding. But have a play, see which method you prefer. Okay, so the next part is once you've got your strips of paper, get a cutter if you want to, and a peg is probably helpful at this point. The most tricky part is the first bit. What I'm going to do is go around the outside. I've pegged where I first started, the beginning, and then I'm going to put a dab of glue. You could carry on using a prick stick, or you could use PVA, or you could use hot glue gun if you like. And then you need to get that kind of strong structure. So now I'm going to put the peg down. I really hope you can see that it's not too blurry. And then I'm going to carry on gluing this to build up the kind of frame. And obviously the more layers you do, the stronger it will be. This is one I was doing earlier, and you see that I've gone around it a few more times. So that is my shape of my heart. I'm quite happy with that shape of that heart now. But like I said, you could do a star, you could do whatever, and then put your circles. You could just leave it like that if you wanted to, as a hanging kind of heart decoration, or you could put your circles inside. Do lots of different circles and build it up, or you could do one a bit like this. This is quite a cool one, and this is where they've started. I think they've started from the inside and folded the paper in on itself. So just keep putting glue round. The more glue you put, then the stronger it will be, and then perhaps at the end, you can see that, can't you? And as they built it up, they've made it into that heart shape. At the end, if you just put a covering of glue over the top, or varnish if you've got some, it will just give the shape that strength, because the last thing you want it to do is unravel. This is it's quite a nice craft to do, and you don't need too many resources, and obviously it's recycling, which is lovely. People put those on trees to decorate at Christmas, or you could just do little hanging decorations. Some people, you could make coasters out of these, so like coasters for mugs, or you could do big like placemats. It's quite clever. So I like those. I like this kind of little craft. So have a little play. So have a little play with it. So basically just strips of recycled magazines or catalogues, fold them together into long strips or roll them on a knitting needle or kebab skewer and then just glue them together. You could either, like I say, build up lots of circles like that, or you could do it around a cutter and build up a shape. Have a little play with it. There's lots of other videos on YouTube. Yeah, let us know how you get on.